this is the second year that we've had Stride for Recovery. And the first year, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know where the idea came from. Maybe God, who knows. But I had the idea that a walkathon would help kind of spread the message and decrease the ignorance that exists in our society. We still have people thinking that chemical dependency is a moral issue. It's about right or wrong. So it's going to be vital that professionals like myself do all we can to diminish the stigma that is associated with chemical dependency. Families would rather have a son or a daughter with bipolar or a mental illness versus substance abuse. And so we need to come out of the dark ages because people are dying, they need help. And it's kind of ironic that this year, 2010, the Parity Act was passed. And now they have to, I guess, notice or they have to accept chemical dependency as a disease and put it back in the model and start paying for services again. Before, what they would do is discriminate against us. And that was morally wrong. They want to talk about moral issues. Well, how about discrimination? If someone broke their leg twice, according to them, they couldn't go back for a third time. You just had to live with it. Because insurance companies were saying 3 treatments per lifetime, max. Which is ludicrous. So the Parity Act passed, and that was why I kind of wanted to get the message out to help that initiative. I started Rational Reflections on a whim. I had been at Sundown Ranch for 15 years. I was the clinical director for 6 or 7 of those years. And I saw a revolving door. And what I mean by that is they would come to Sundown Ranch at 13. Then they would return at 18. And then they would return again at 21. And so I wanted to stop the revolving door. And the idea that I came up with was sober living. That's not a new idea by any means, but in Dallas, there's not but 1 or 2 structured facilities like mine. And we're even going further by getting a license by the Texas Department of State and Health Services, which I will be the only one around that is licensed, a sober transitional facility licensed by the state. The walk, again, was just me trying to help the initiative. And we did real well. We had 130 walkers our first year. And we had probably 10, other facilities like Right Step, Care, Sundown Ranch, Hazleton. They would all sponsor and donate money, and we were able to raise $15,000 the first year. Now, it cost me 10 to put it on, but that's how it goes. I think this year it'll cost me 10 to put it on, and I'll double the revenue. But it doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to Rational Reflections. It goes to 3 individuals that can't afford treatment. And what I'm going to do is scholarship 6 people for 3 months, or 3 people for 6 months, however it works out, however the board decides to do it. But this year there's an actual goal at the end of the rainbow. Last year the goal was just to get it on and have people aware and to do something in the community. This year there's a specific goal of helping someone that can't afford it. And this is a gift of life, because chemical dependency will kill.
Getting back to the walk, Lenny, what can we expect from the walk? I understand you've got several people coming to the walk, several artists that's going to be there. Tell us about what that looks like.
Well, last year we had it at Bachman Lake. About 3 o'clock, the beer drinkers showed up, and the cars and the circling and all of that. And so it was kind of ironic. We had Self-Esteem come in, and they were playing, and they won the 2009 Prism Award. And what that means is that the entertainment business gives recognition to artists that write recovery lyrics. Smokey Robinson also won it that year. And Self-Esteem was playing, and Bachman Lake, I guess around 3 o'clock, is when people start showing up and drinking beer. And so we had recovery music going on, and people drinking beer listening to the recovery music. It was kind of fun to see that. And I don't know, maybe it helped someone there that day. Maybe that was why it happened. But the planes were flying overhead from the airport. It was really not a conducive environment. But, we did the best that we could that year. Well, I knew that this year I needed to do something different, so I booked White Rock Lake 3 or 4 days after the first walk. And Winfrey Point, which is a beautiful place there in White Rock Lake. So I think this year, Self-Esteem is coming back. I've already had vendors just start calling, and it's real neat because last year I had to almost beg them to, get a booth and, pay the money and all of that. And now this year it's like, they're calling me. I don't have to go chasing after anybody. Self-Esteem will be back, and there's another artist that I saw when I went to speak at the Summer Institute for the health department, and his name is Little Roddy, and he sings rap music, but it's Christian rap music. It's about denouncing drugs, not glorifying drugs. And his story is pretty awesome. He was jumped in a gang, and his brother was killed by a drunk driver. He had a massive heart attack at the age of 21 due to cocaine, and he turned his life over to God, and now his lyrics are about denouncing drugs, denouncing gangs, and glorifying God. And I really didn't like rap music, but his lyrics have really enlightened me. He's really interesting to listen to. Just the lyrics are very meaningful. So I'm real interested. In fact, he just confirmed today he wanted a little more money than what we could afford. So I told him that we're a nonprofit organization, and I would fly him in, his family, and pay for room and board, and we worked out a compromise. Really, I'm not in control anyway of this. God is, and it's kind of funny how things work out. He wanted, way more than what we could afford, but when I told him what the initiative was and all of that, he said, "Great, I'll do it." And I think he's going to be a good, entertaining artist in that kids like that rap music and that beat, and he's good. So we're going to have that, and then we're going to have a speaker. I don't know who the speaker is, but it's a keynote speaker, Joe Powell, who is a planning partner in Washington, is going to set up somebody real high up in the deal to come and speak. So I turn that over to him. I don't know who it is. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But what you can expect is a lot of people that are sober, that are clean, that are really wanting the initiative to go forward. I mean, I could see this 10 years from now being like big. We had 130 walkers. 10 years from now, I could see it being in the thousands. Wouldn't that be neat? And all from just an idea and a little initiative. I wish more people would do some of this, but I'm doing it, so maybe when I'm done, someone else will step in. I think that you'll get a lot of education, and you'll have a lot of fun. It is September 25th at White Rock Lake, Winfrey Point. Starts at 8:30, somewhere in there, and it ends at 1 o'clock. So.
And you have a website, right?
Yes, the website is www.strideforrecovery.org. And it's all real simple. You can pick a team. I guess one thing that needs to be mentioned is that last year I was just going to take all the money. I had very little participation. God taught me a lesson. When I announced that other nonprofits could have half of whatever monies they raised, then the floodgates opened. And what that means is that if you are a nonprofit organization, you can form a team, and let's say your team raises $3,000. Well, Rational Reflections is going to hand you a check for $1,500. That's pretty good. Fundraiser within a fundraiser. Kind of like a dream within a dream. The movie, I forgot what, Inception. And so, if you are a for-profit, you can pick one of the non-profits to donate your half to. It's illegal for you to keep it. But it's not illegal for you to give it away. Give it away. Does that ring a bell? You can't keep what you don't have, and you can't keep whatever the saying is, you got to give it away in order to get it, or something like that. So that's what I did. I gave it away, and the floodgates opened. And this year I'm doing it again. So all nonprofits, it's a good opportunity for you.
You had a story that you shared with us when we were going through Stride for Recovery about a nonprofit that you gave a check to last year. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was the Magdalene House. It was funny how things work. Something happens. They flooded, or an air conditioner went out. I don't know what it was, but I gave them a check for $1,000, and they basically said it came at a very good time, because they needed the money. So, and there was other organizations that needed the money also, and I thought it was that was a God thing.